All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. The weekend is upon us, and of course, the World Cup is just around the corner. Just just a day away, isn't it? Just a day away. Later tonight, the video that I'll post that'll probably focus on, as I said, as I've been saying in the past few days, focusing on the Chelsea players that are involved in the World Cup. And we'll look into all of that. I might even make a sneaky little my World Cup prediction as well. So do look out for that. It's going to be quite interesting. There's going to be some really interesting matches anyway, but some of the Chelsea players that are involved, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they all do. Today, a couple of big news, 2 pieces of news that I want to talk to you guys, and it's perfect that we're doing it as a live stream because I really want to hear how you feel about one of them, which is in regards to Christopher Nkunku. We are linked with Nkunku. And Christopher Nkunku, bad news, out for 10 weeks with ruptured knee ligament. Now, this player is heavily linked with Chelsea Football Club, heavily linked with Chelsea Football Club, to the matter in the sense that he's potentially going to be a Chelsea player. Like, this is what some of the top publications out there are talking about. Fabrizio Romano has been tweeting left, right, and center, stating that everything is ready to go for Christopher Nkunku to sign those papers for Chelsea. But how do we feel about this now? I mean, it's classic Chelsea, isn't it? It's classic Chelsea luck. It's classic, Chelsea juju, whatever you want to call it. I mean, 10 weeks is not a small time, man. Like, 10 weeks is a long time. Ruptured knee ligament. I mean, look, he's definitely not coming in January. To all the brothers that probably thought maybe he's coming in January, it's definitely not happening in January. That's for a certainty now, because he's not even going to be fit by the time January comes around. And yeah, I mean, summer potentially still on the cards. There's no doubt. I'm pretty certain Chelsea's still going to be vying for him, still going to be going after him. But I think we need to move a bit cautiously, don't we? We need to just check him out, how he does after this injury, how he comes back to Leipzig, how his performance is. Is he going to be able to move around freely? I mean, I know this is a ruptured knee ligament, but still out for 10 weeks. This isn't your normal 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out. It's a short-term injury. This is substantial. 2.5 months. 2.5 months is substantial. And I don't know, man. Like, I know it's not the same sort of injury with Ben Chilwell, but what I'm trying to say is that look at the situation with Ben Chilwell now. Like, do we now want to get another player that has this big injury behind him? I'm still keen, but I think I'm also interested to see how he comes back from it and plays for Leipzig. I don't know whether we should just jump into this straight away anymore. Like, this is a huge deal. So we're going to talk a lot about that. Obviously, really want to hear what you guys have to say about it in the live chat as well. And we're also going to talk about Reece James quite possibly being fully fit after the World Cup. So he should be ready to go. Here we go. Miz, you're always negative. Does my tone sound negative to you, Tobogo, man? This is... Okay, let me explain to you something in life, okay? I don't know what you do, what your status is elsewhere. In life, you create a discussion. This is what this YouTube channel is all about. It's creating a discussion. I'm not saying don't go for it. I'm just creating a discussion. What do you guys think? I'm not going to come here and just go, whoa, yeah, Christopher Nkunku, let's go for it. This is what you do, man. You have a channel, my channel. I like to have a conversation. I like to know what you guys are thinking. If you think it's negative, please leave. I don't want you to stink up the live chat with comments like with comments like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have intellectual comments. I'm not saying don't do this. I'm just saying there's a conversation to be had. And if you feel there is no conversation to be had, please leave. I don't want to see you in this live chat. And you're not going to say, just because my opinion's different. No, your opinion is not different. You're actually straight up attacking me by saying that I'm being negative, which I'm not. Liz, I know why you're so disconnected with the club. With Tuchel gone, there is not a reason to support the team because we all knew deep down most of these players aren't worth our utmost support. Look, we're going to get over it. Don't worry. I'm slowly getting over it anyway. You stay disconnected for a little bit, but eventually you come around anyway. Eric, because in life you have to look at both sides of the spectrum, pros and cons. Your sport, exactly. Honestly, I don't understand what some of the fans, their mentality is when they see someone making content on YouTube or Twitter. Like, I don't know if they just expect you to just keep the blue flag flying high, like, just wave that flag around always. Like, how is that interesting? You want to be able to churn your mind. You want to be able to bring intellectuality. Like, I don't understand. You must be so boring in life. That you can't seem to entertain conversations, which is quite mad. Let's get on this act right up, ladies and gentlemen. More than 60 of you guys are live right now. Smash the like button. Make sure you get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Would love to see those likes up to 60 immediately. And obviously, I can understand World Cup just around the corner. Everyone's talking about the World Cup. We will also talk about, this is part of the World Cup anyway. Christopher Nkunku getting that injury during the World Cup training. Do you know what I mean? Tibogo again saying, this guy's going to annoy me in the live chat, isn't he? The thing, our fan base are Reaction FC. Mate, you don't even know what the word reaction means. You don't know what negativity means. You've got no clue. You seriously have got no clue. So I'm just going to have to ignore you. But I know you're going to bother me in the live chat. I'm just going to have to ignore you. Anyway, so this is the latest news in regards to Christopher Nkunku, ladies and gentlemen. Christopher Nkunku's injury is worse than initially feared. France forward is out for 2.5 months with a ruptured knee ligament. More below, this is from L'Equipe, so it's one of the top publications when it comes to sort of French news. L'Equipe report that the injury, which has seen Christopher Nkunku withdraw from France's World Cup squad on Tuesday, is set to keep him out of action for longer than initially expected. Further goes on to say the Leipzig man was thought to be sidelined for 6 to 8 weeks after the knee issue. It has now been revealed that he has suffered a ruptured ligament, which sees him miss 2.5 months. So this is not a small talk anymore. Like, this is a big injury. Do you know what I mean? When you're missing 2.5 months, let's just say nearly 3 months, right? It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. So how you come back after that, there's always going to be question mark. You hope he comes back perfectly fine. And what repercussions this injury may have down the track, who knows? As I said, I think some of you guys probably expected maybe he comes in January. I think there was some conversation. Maybe this could potentially happen in January. I don't think it does anymore. I don't think this player happens in January because he's going to be injured. So how you pass medical, I don't know. I think first part of his medical, as I believe, was already done. So the second part, whatever that may be, whatever that may entail, we don't know. But I can't see how he passes medical knowing that he's injured. I've also seen some reports that Chelsea representatives are quite involved in this situation. They're assessing the situation as well. So January, I think, is out of sight. And to be honest, probably the right thing to do as well. I don't think we should jump into a player, bringing him in January when he's injured. Second thing, I think it's going to be very, very prudent, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he comes out of this particular injury and plays for Leipzig after he returns. It'll be interesting to see how his knee plays out. It'll be interesting to see that burst of pace, that technicality, that that efficiency in front of goal. If that all maintains, or does it impact him? So it's something to really think about. And in this current Chelsea squad, like, we've got enough players that seem to have injury issues. We need to be very careful who we're bringing in, that they don't have some sort of an injury history creating. Do you know what I mean? So I wish him all the best. I hope he comes back well. But it's all of a sudden, for me, it's become a bit of a question mark, that I need to see how he comes back from the injury. I really need to see how he plays for Leipzig once he comes back, because it's going to be interesting. And I think I don't know whether Chelsea is just going to jump into this right away. So it's going to be quite interesting. Let's see what you guys have to say before we move on to the Chelsea story in regards to Reece James. Nearly 100 of you guys are live right now. Smash the like button. Get those likes up to 100. To all the mods in the live chat, please push for the 100 likes. As I always say, the likes are the direct correlation to the growth of the channel. The more you like, the more it gets recommended to other people. And if you enjoy this interaction, enjoy this interactive sort of conversation, then smash the like button. Wouldn't have got him in January anyway. Leipzig are in UCL still, so summer as I expected and wanted to. Yep, I probably had the same feeling as well, that it's not happening in January. The reason being, Leipzig's in Champions League second round, and they've got an important tie against Real Madrid. Schuber saying bad luck. Massive bad luck, man. I mean, this guy was probably dreaming for the World Cup to come around, and he was flying for Leipzig. And the fact that he's going to miss out on the World Cup, one, blow for France. Two, a huge blow for him as well, personally. So, three, a bit of a side blow for us in terms of, Chelsea interest. Princeton, Miz, I think the signing will be done and Chelsea will let Nkunku to stay at Leipzig on loan. Okay, so what you're thinking is we're potentially going to do this in January, but then we're going to loan him out for the rest of the season. But yeah, that could happen. But how do you pass medical if you're not fit? Do you know what I mean? I know he's done one part of the medical, but not the complete medical. We might change targets. We should keep an eye on how he recovers. Another Chilwell situation is the last thing we want. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Abhinav. This is exactly what sort of the slight concern that I have now, because I wouldn't be bothered if it was a 2-3 weeks max, injury, 4 weeks, let's just say max. 10 weeks? 10 weeks is a big deal. Ruptured knee ligament. That ain't some sort of a small story, man. Like, it's something to worry about. There's no doubt about that. January transfer was all about midfielders and a right back. Right back for sure, and midfielders, yeah. I would like to get an attacker as well, man. I mean, if we can get ourselves like a Trossard or, I don't know, Rafael, I mean, they'll go a long way. That will go a long way. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But I think Graham Potter needs an attacker. He really does need an attacker, someone he can rely on. No way Nkunku is coming in January. Leipzig is still in the Champions League, and he is the most informed player and top scorer. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The summer move is more realistic, in my opinion. I completely agree. I didn't expect him in January, but there were quite a lot of people that were talking about how they expect they want him in January. Let's get Trossard in Jan, not injury prone and informed player in the Premier League, no brainer. And he's only going to have 6 months left in the contract, so we could potentially get him for a cheap. Bruno friend Ms. Johnny Minerals mudded you. Whoop-de-doo, man. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, I honestly feel sorry for the people that actually watch his channel. Yeah, I don't know what knowledge you get out of listening to him, but kudos to you, man. Kudos to you if you think he mudded me. But everything with Chelsea at the moment feels off. Hopeful for a good 2023. Isn't Werner injured as well? Looks rough for Leipzig. Yeah. Werner's injured as well. And Nkunku. That, yeah. Potentially Werner might be back after the World Cup, but obviously Nkunku's gone for a while. Yeah, it's too big of a deal to be completed in Jan. But Trossard, maybe Brea is injured now too. Whoa, is Armando Brea injured? So definitely need an attacker. I didn't know Armando Brea is injured. Is that one of the latest news that's floating around? Trossard could potentially happen 6 months away. Leao, I wouldn't put it away though. He's not signed a contract extension with AC Milan, so AC Milan could look to cash in. And if we send Ziyech there, something could prop up. Ankle injury. Okay. Armando Brea, is that like something latest that's out? $19 ago. Armando Brea has returned to Cobham from Albania duty to be assessed by Chelsea's medical team following his ankle injury. Okay. How come this wasn't floating around? How come none of PYS or anyone talked about this? Armando Brea came off injured yesterday in Albania friendly match against Italy. I'm beginning to think we are cursed. Well, okay. Hopefully he's going to be all right before the World Cup. We're going to move into Reece James news very, very soon. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Over 110 people live right now. Let's get those likes up to 100. Only 20 likes, 80 likes, pump like, ladies and gentlemen, right now. If you can bump it to straight away to at least 60, 70, and then hopefully we can reach to 100 down the track. That'd be much appreciated. So if you're enjoying this conversation, smash the like button. T1, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Miz, if you were to redo the off season, would you have priorities the midfield or defense if it was either or? Miz, if you were to redo the off season, would you have priorities the midfield or defense if it was either or? I think I would have gone midfield and kept Colwell, Ampadu, kept Werner, Lukaku with improved service. I've always maintained we didn't need to get that many defenders, man. Like, I always wanted to trust Chalobah. I always wanted to trust Lewa Colwell. I always wanted to trust Ethan Ampadu. I just wanted maybe one defender, max. And I wanted to trust our people and focus on the midfielder. I was gung-ho for De Jong. Obviously, he didn't want to leave, fine. But we could have used all of that energy, all of that money for a midfielder. But look, our summer was so scrambled, man. Our summer was very, very scrambled. And, Todd Bowley was still learning his trade. Todd Bowley didn't know what was going on. And some of our negotiations took time as well. So, look, yeah. Hopefully the January one is a lot more better, a lot more precise, with good planning, with absolutely good planning. But yeah, I would have focused a lot more on the midfielders. There's no doubt about that. Definitely would have focused on midfielders. Hemiz, are we still in contention to get Lukaku back next season? I think Potter's football might suit him. I don't think he wants to come back. I don't think Romelu Lukaku wants to come back. So, yeah, I don't think this is happening. Potter's football might suit him, but this guy just doesn't want to come back. Maybe we can get De Jong now and save him from Europa League. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he gets a lot of. It's not like he gets a lot of minutes at Barcelona. So crazy how he's still sticking around over there. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea defender Reece James will be absolutely fine for the resumption of the Premier League, which is great news. So once the World Cup is over, he should be ready to go. This is from Ben Deneri from Give Me Sport. This is good news. This is good news. The 22-year-old was left out of England's World Cup squad by manager Gareth Southgate after he picked up a problem with his knee in a Champions League game against AC Milan. Look, I mean, honestly, once the World Cup is finished and the Premier League is up and running, we need this guy immediately. I know how match fit is he going to be? Probably not. We're going to have to ease him in again. But he's so crucial. He's so crucial to our setup, man. He's so crucial to everything that we do. It's crazy how much of our success is correlated to this guy being on the field. But I mean, I'm worried that if we don't at least find some sort of a backup for him in January, we could potentially be in the same situation again. This Reece James is someone, honestly, looking at his history, looking at his time at Chelsea Football Club since he started, every season he's been injured. And he's been injured for a long time as well. Last season, long time. Season before that, long time. I'm excited he's coming back. I can't wait because he's defensively huge, attackingly huge. But I'm concerned at the same time that the way he plays with such physicality, he doesn't seem to know like when to go in on a challenge and when to probably not go in on a challenge. So that challenge against AC Milan, whoever that player was, I don't know whether it was absolutely necessary to go in like that so hard. And he got himself injured. And he got himself injured for a long time. And yeah, I mean, we better have a backup. We really better have a backup for this particular player. And yeah, I just hope we manage him well. I really hope we manage him well. And I hope we give him some advice that be a bit more cautious with your body composition. Like maybe the way he's built, he thinks he can just go through brick walls, which he can, but maybe just be a bit careful, man, because you are picking up these muscle injuries, knee injuries, this, that, the other, which then ultimately hampers us, man. So I hope we manage him well. And the only way to manage him is if we get a backup. We need a decent backup for Reece James. Buy back Tino Livramento. This guy's not even back for... I don't think he's even back for Southampton, if I'm being honest. Is he? Can someone confirm? I don't think he's playing for Southampton at the moment. He's another one of those, ACL injury. You see what's going on with Ben Chilwell. Like, he's struggling. It took Ben Chilwell a little bit of time to sort of come back, and then the match he was starting to look like he was sort of coming back. He gets injured with the hamstring stuff. So I don't know, man. Tino Livramento, another player that you want that has ACL injury history. I'm not really sure, man. I'm not really sure. And his buyback is not cheap. 40 million for his buyback. It's quite expensive to get. You might as well look for someone else, man. Yeah, I wouldn't potentially go for this. Not at least until I see that, okay, he's fully recovered from that ACL. As I said, I don't think he plays for Southampton at the moment. I don't think he's even back for Southampton. So I would seriously start contemplating maybe Dumfries in January if there is an availability to get Dumfries. If not, Kyle Walker-Peters, definitely an opportunity to get him. I'm pretty sure Southampton will sell as well. But we need someone on that right side. We definitely need someone on that right side. Let me know who you guys think on that right side could potentially be a good choice. Reece James will go go the same way as Kante if he keeps getting overworked. Yeah, it needs to be managed. Needs to be managed. I love Reece James, but he's still just a piece of the puzzle. I know we miss him and what he brings to the team, but for Christ's sake, let's get forwards that can actually bang in goals when he crosses. Yeah, need an attacker during January as well. There's no doubt about that. I've been calling out for it massively. I feel like we need 3 players in January. Midfielder, right-sided player, Reece James backup, and an attacker. That's for sure. I wish we would have kept him. 85 million, Caicedo, are you crazy? There's a lot of money for Caicedo. Most of these young players are so soft. Same to Masunda, injuries. I don't know about Reece James being soft. It's just, I think he needs to just watch himself as to where, what challenges he's going into. Yeah, sometimes he's a bit. I feel like he just gets into some reckless situation which he probably could avoid. For that 40 million, I would go for Dumfries, no doubt. Yeah, Dumfries apparently would be a tad bit cheaper than 40 million. That's the saying that's gone around. Frimpong is a good one as well. Yes, that's a good shout. We'll see what happens. Kante back to defensive midfielder. The only player who is available on January is Dumfries. Were Inter willing to sell Dumfries? Not in summer. I don't think in the summer they were willing to sell Dumfries, but potentially they could sell him in January. So if you give them the right price, I think they'll sell and they'll find themselves a replacement. Dumfries would be an elite move. I think he, for me, in regards to physicality, strength, pace, he matches Reece James's style, more or less. And I think he's someone who probably won't need to adapt to the Premier League. I think he could potentially, in terms of that physical side of things, he could potentially adapt to the Premier League quite quickly. This is why I'm going for someone like Dumfries. Kyle Walker-Peters wouldn't be bad as well. Like, obviously, he's a Premier League player, so he knows everything about how physical the league is, how quick the league is. And Kyle Walker-Peters is actually a very good player. And I think as a wing-back, if we do continue with a wing-back setup, he'll probably be fantastic. And if we go with a back 4, I think he'll be a very, very decent right-back as well. We signed Frimpong as right-back cover, or maybe Dumfries. I'm not sure about him. If he's good for Chelsea, I think he'll be good for Chelsea. I think he would. I think he'll be good for Chelsea. Kante is broken and finished. He'll never be the player he once was. Let him go. They wanted 45 million for Dumfries, which euros. So what's that in pounds? About 40 million-ish, isn't it? Just a bit less. Last I saw he was going to be something around 37 million pounds. So I think that's fine. I really think that's probably okay. January transfer is not that easy to bring 3 players. Probably 1 is possible. See, this is why I would like all the off-field recruitments that we've done. I need them to prepare right now in November. I need them to start preparing now. December, prepare. Lay out the foundation. Come January, boom, 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 boom. Let's get the thing done. I don't want them to plan in January. I don't want them to come into the office, get the papers out and start the planning and programming in January. Planning and programming starts now. So that come January, all you're doing is getting the deal done and dusted. Right now, you contact the agents. You plant the seed. You find if there's an interest or not. You lay the foundation now. So that come January, if the player is willing to move, then you start negotiating with the club. That's the way I look at it. Kyle Walker-Peters is a signing I can get behind, needs to improve his passing and decision-making. Probably buy Ronaldo and play him right wing back. Yeah, fair enough. Is there anything on De Jong? I think that Rice, De Jong, Mount midfield would be good for us. I don't think De Jong's moving, man. I think he's staying at Barcelona. I wish he moved, but I don't think he is. AC Milan player Kalulu as Reece James backup. I mean, look, I haven't watched AC Milan too often, but the two matches against us, I'm not really sure whether I was impressed with Kalulu. But maybe Hashal, you've been watching AC Milan a lot more than me. I don't know. But from the two matches that I've saw, I don't know. It's so hard to get proper transfers in January. I mean, it all comes down to planning, man. It all comes down. Look at Liverpool with Luis Diaz. Do you know what I mean? There's been some big transfers that has happened in January. It's not. It all comes down to talking to the agents. It all comes down to laying the foundations. It's not too far-fetched. We better get job done in January. Like, Graham Potter needs help. If we don't give him any help, we are going to see what we're seeing now. Thomas Tuchel's already said it. Same players, same result. So we have to help him out. I think French League has some good wing backs. Italy bought us Zappa and Alonso. I fear this Dumfries. No. We shouldn't just treat a couple of the players that has gone wrong for. Well, I don't even know whether Alonso's really gone. He's probably gone wrong later in his career with us. But in the initial phases, he was part of the winning Premier League team under Antonio Conte. So Zappa, I don't know who even scouted that. But Dumfries, it's not just playing for Italy. I think he plays really well for Holland as well, Netherlands. He's physical. Like, you can see that he would fit Premier League. I wouldn't be worried about comparing him with Zappacosta and Alonso and all of that kind of stuff. Are the links to Ruben Neves for real? He would be great. He would be a good get. I don't know. I haven't seen any real links with Ruben Neves as yet, so I don't think so. We should stay away from Bellingham. It's just a time waste. Again, so many clubs want him here. I think there's some news coming out that Jude Bellingham is probably going to be thinking about Man City, most likely. I mean, Gundogan is probably going to be moving on, and then you're probably going to get Jude Bellingham moving over there. So, how much of an opportunity do we have to get Jude Bellingham? I don't know, man. I think Man City might be hot favourites over there. Lukaku better stay away from our club. He's a snake. And also with Jude Bellingham, Liverpool fans seem to be very, very confident. Like, they think they're going to get him as well. Man City get Laporte at expensive price. Could Trevor play right wing back? He probably could, but why do we want him to do that? Do you know what I mean? Like, he plays better as a centre back. So why do we want him to do that? Like, more compromise. There's too many recruitment people to fail in Jan window. Exactly, man. All these people you're bringing in, for me, like, if we don't have a huge January window, it's a massive failure. It's a massive, massive failure if we don't have a huge January window. Yeah. What's up, Miz? Long time, bro. How's the heat on summer there, bro? That's good to see you, man. The heat is slowly, it's picking up. It is picking up and starting to warm up quite nicely. Potter needs to go, not Ziyech. If you give Ziyech to Zidane, he will win the Premier League. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy how we can sit here 2 months into Potter's tenure and ask for him to leave. I think that's quite mad. Too early to say Potter gone. I think at least he needs to see January. At least he needs to get some sort of players, and then let's see what's going on. And he's not going anywhere. He's not going. Our owners have already said we could finish outside of top 4, and he ain't going. He ain't going. Means we need a Trossard. We need Trossard and a DM key in January. 100% need a midfielder. Definitely need an attacker, and definitely a right-sided player. Do you think we will offload players as well in January? I hope we do. I think this is very important as well, Pratik. We have to offload players. Someone like Ziyech, if he's not trusted, needs to move on. There's no point in just keeping him in. Let's get him going. If we're not going to use him, let's move him on. If we're not going to use Christian Pulisic and many other players, then let's move them on and bring in players that Graham Potter's actually going to use. Do you know what I mean? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. As I said, later tonight, we'll do a video on all the players, Chelsea players that are involved in the World Cup. I might even give you guys a sneaky sort of World Cup prediction from my end. And so look out for that. Very soon, we're doing the all-you-can-eat Chelsea show. So I don't know whether it's going to be live or whether it's going to be pre-recording from Matisse. So do look out for that as well. And before you leave, smash the like button. It's crazy when Chelsea's not around and it's World Cup. The likes just drop off hard as well. Over 130 people, but 42 likes. Would love to get up to 100 likes. If you guys can manage that, that'd be much appreciated. As I said, if you want to see the channel grow, if you want to see the channel do well, the likes are the only thing, man. The more you like, the more the channel is going to grow. So the less likes, the slower the channel will grow. So yeah, if you can smash the like button before you go, that'd be much appreciated. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see ya.